If you have only just started meditating, then this video is definitely for you. I'm going to give you some very, very simple pointers on how to approach meditation in a very, very simple way, which will be very effective. And also, if you've been meditating for some years, maybe this is videos for you too, that you can see a new perspective, a new approach, a new way of looking at your meditation practice, and therefore to be realistic about what the results really are going to be. I've been meditating for over 40 years and traveled to many, many places and tried different types of meditation and workshops, retreats, monasteries, etc. And in all that time, I found that basically you can boil meditation down into some very, very key areas. The first one, and the most important one, is that you approach meditation as a form of pausing. That meditation is not about getting a result. It's about stopping in your chaotic modern life and finding stillness and quietness. Stillness and quietness, which is already present within you and all around you. We just have to know how to listen and how to be still. That can be discovered, that can be rediscovered, if you like, purely by sitting. So my first advice to you is, when you approach meditation, when you sit quietly somewhere and just focus, I would suggest not focusing on anything in particular. That might sound strange, but actually just the process of sitting and just being with what's happening, whether that's your crazy mind or the physicality of your body or the feeling of breathing in the body, it doesn't matter. But just punctuating your morning and your evening with 1 minute of meditation practice alone without your phone, I promise you will have a profound impact on your life. Try it for maybe a week, maybe two, come back and tell me what you think. But I really can't say it enough, that just punctuating your day by sitting still will make all the difference. You might find, to begin with, focusing the attention on the feeling of the breathing in the body is helpful, but fundamentally, just sit. Just sit and be with the stillness. I've got 5 things that I think are absolutely fundamental to encouraging and to uphold and to help you with your meditation practice. And here are those 5 things in terms of living a meditator's life in a minimalistic way. Number 1 is quite straightforward. It's simplify your environment. So living in a space, it doesn't matter how big the space is, but living in a space where there's no clutter, there's no stuff on surfaces, that things are in their right place, and there's a feeling of clarity within the environment you live in, will have a fundamental impact on your mental state. If you live in a chaotic bedroom when the bed's never made and there's clothes everywhere and files all over the place, then your mind will be cluttered too. But honestly, if you take the time to make your bed every day and to clear your room, your bedroom, for example, you will find that will have a knock-on effect, a positive knock-on effect on how you feel in terms of your meditation practice. So first, clear your environment and find a space within that environment. It doesn't have to be big, but maybe it's just a cushion on the floor, or it's one particular chair, which is specifically for sitting and meditating. Very, very important. Clear your environment. The second thing I would suggest is prioritizing experiences over stuff, over material stuff. We have all got too much stuff in our lives generally, and it is so valuable and so helpful, not only for your bank balance, but also for your mental clarity and well-being, to not keep consuming things. You know, that coat or that pair of shoes or whatever it might be that you are about to buy, just put it in the basket in whatever online shopping you use, and leave it there for a week. You'll often find that the thing you think you want is actually just an impulsive buy. You don't actually require it. And I promise you, I know we are bombarded with our media, etc., with the notion that we need more stuff to be happy, but absolutely all the evidence to suggest quite the opposite, that actually having less stuff in your life and not constantly consuming makes you happier. And you'll find, for me, I'm an older guy, I've found that the things that really bring me value are the relationships I have and the experiences I've had. They are not the stuff I bought. There are one or two things in my life which I really cherish that I bought years ago. For example, I bought a very old classic record player, and it brings me great joy. That record player, that system brings me real joy. But I'm very, very clear about what I require for my own well-being and happiness, and what is just a habitual way of filling a gap. And we need to avoid that as much as possible. And your bank account will thank you for it too. Number 3 is be mindful of the type of media you are consuming. We all spend way too much time online trolling through endless uploads from people or obsessing over the news. I've always been really, really committed news a person. I like listening to the news. I like to know what's going on in the world. I like to hear what the perspective is out there in the world. But actually, it can become a burden. And so I would strongly suggest, as I've reduced the amount of time I spend listening to the radio, the news in particular, and also spending time on Instagram and TikTok, etc. Most of what you're seeing, as I've said often, on TikTok and Instagram is a snapshot of someone's life. And it's the highlights. It is the edited highlights of the nice, gorgeous, lovely bits. Nobody has a life like that. Life is a process of ups and downs. That this notion that what we're looking for, and is perpetuated through the media, that we can have happiness, that somehow happiness is something we can grab and have, is not true. That part of being a human being is there are highs and lows in our life. We can find contentment, but not through constantly scrolling on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. The answer is not there. The answer fundamentally is already within us. And while we are distracting ourselves with endless news feed, etc., or endless TikTok shorts, etc., we are not really addressing the thing within us that's already free and well and happy. All of this media stuff has its place, but it's also an enormous distraction from actually living a fulfilled and contented life, clear in the understanding that you can be well and happy and content, but it is not something that can be sustained. There are ups and downs in your life, and the answer is clearly not in an Instagram post. The next one is cultivating space in your life. I have a tendency, and have most of my life, to overcommit to things. It's very difficult for some of us, me included, to say no. And learning to say no and encouraging time alone, very important. And space in your life is an extremely necessary part of what it is to be a human being. I find that if I overcommit, I've got too many social engagements, or I'm constantly saying yes to stuff that I have been asked what I like to do, that I become overwhelmed and I become agitated and stressed. So every day I make sure I have space in my day for meditation and quietness and reflection. And also in my calendar, every week I give myself at least half a day where I'm not doing anything. I don't see anybody, I don't talk to anybody, I just spend time alone processing. And being alone is a fundamental part of being a balanced human being. To constantly have input from others after a while is incredibly wearing and very, very it can be very agitating. So I strongly advise you, put it in the diary, block out, even if it's just 20 minutes to begin with a day, where you have no phone, no contact with anybody else. And maybe you just sit and you might read, or maybe you sit and look at a view with a beautiful cup of coffee, whatever it might be. But time away, carve out space in your life. By the way, if you are enjoying this wonderful, gorgeous, and information-packed video, please would you subscribe and like this. It means a huge amount to me, and although I'm very new to YouTube, there is some traction beginning, but the more people that like and subscribe to the channel, the more time I can spend putting out videos like this, which I love. I think this information's such an important thing, especially in the kind of times we're living in at the moment. Finding stillness and well-being in our lives is absolutely fundamental. So thank you so far to everybody for your support. And also, my next one would be cultivating gratitude. I say it a lot, but I honestly, we are creatures that are endlessly seeking something else and something more, and we become addicted through our culture and through our media, etc., into the notion that what we are right now is not enough and that somehow we need to improve or change. And that basically discourages us from being honest and to be genuinely grateful for the life we have. Every day I make sure that I thank, whatever it might be, the universe out there, that I thank it. I thank myself for the life I have and the amazingly positive people I have around me. It's very, very important that you have good people around you and that you avoid people that bring you down or make you feel unwell and unhappy. But I'm so grateful. And I'm grateful for the environment I live in. I live very rurally, and I love the landscape I live in. And that alone, the breathtaking world that we live in, should be something that we should be saying thank you for. And it really does make a huge difference to your mental well-being when you thank yourself and thank the universe for the incredible life you have. I really hope this has helped. I love doing these videos, and this is information that I'm so happy and willing to share. So thank you all for getting to the end of the video. If you did, I hugely appreciate it, and I look forward to catching up with you next week. If you have anything you want to say or add, or any comment you'd like to make, please leave a comment below, or of course email me. And until then, have a great week, and I'll catch up with you again.